Hello and welcome back. We are playing the Stanley Parable again. Wow, sådan der. Han sidder lige fast der. Og jeg tænker, vi bare skal gå ud i det igen. Så bare
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ja, det gør jeg fandme også. Og kæft, jeg er god.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Det er lys. Og den der lyser så meget. Hold kæft. Firehose.
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
Kan nogen fortælle mig, hvordan man har fundet bilen der?
Facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours.
Hvordan får man den der bil herind?
And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my coworkers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream.
No, it's not. It's a game.
What relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun. And Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too, surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back.
Pretty weird
the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons.
Finish
Please.
This game.
It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Olsenbanden. Tak for B at være tilbage der, hvor vi var før.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Jeg blev sindssyg.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body, and then she turned and ran.
Undskyld dem, der gider at høre historien, jeg bare sidder og snakker over det hele, men altså... Jeg... Sindssygt, det her spil. Jeg bliver virkelig sindssygt, det her spil. Jeg bliver nødt til at sætte en ny alarm.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Jeg vil have you win den der time. Hører vi efter, hvad han siger.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2845.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Jeg har ikke lige det her rum. Jeg vil bare blive herinde. Spil noget klaver. Okay. Ligegyldigt. Lige meget. Gør den her vej. Det er ligegyldigt. Lige meget. Nøk. Hvis du har set den her, så ved jeg, hvad jeg mener med det. Raping the elevator. Skal jeg så starte? Loading. Skal jeg stoppe forfra nu? Så bliver jeg sindssyg. Jeg er helt amok, hvis jeg stopper forfra nu.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Yes, så går vi bare. Det er ligegyldigt det her.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay. Så der er escape. Mind Control Facility. Vi tager hele Mind Control Facility, sgu da. Okay, ingen vej tilbage.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Jeg kan godt lide det her spil. Okay, der er sådan en bro dernede til den næste. Godt lavet.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Den der den er rød, det skulle ikke godt. Hvor 427? 427, det er der omkring. 427 lige der. Det var lige der. Jeg kan se mit rum. Cirka på midten af skærmen lige nu. Der, 427. Skal vi så se om det er mit rum? Nu har alle fire set 427, ikke? Det er fandme mit rum. Hvor er det bare luksus, jo. Jeg er så god. Jeg ved ikke om det er meningen, jeg skulle se det.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe it couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Offline, off. Er det ikke? Så må der også være en et af dem der. Derovre, helt sikkert derovre. Yes! And as I go, and go. Skal vi videre? 3. 4. Var det 3 der var der? Okay. Og 3. 3. 3. 4. Og der. Der skal også sådan derovre, mand. Hold kæft, mand. Nu gør vi det her færdigt. Cause fuck logic. Jeg vil deroppe. Hvorfor må jeg ikke være deroppe? Så har ude over. Det her det bliver max 3 afsnit. For jeg bliver sgu da sindssyg i det her spil. Går vi herop? Er der flere? Der er sådan en tekster. Denne. Og de fancy, de røde lys der. Så gør vi bare derinde. Det er fuldstændig ligegyldigt. Det er lige meget. Vi gør derinde.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power...
Oh, fuck. Det var slet ikke meningen. Jeg skulle trykke det, tror jeg. Det var bare en fejl. Og så slet ikke trykke på så lang afstand. Hvad sker der så nu?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Yes. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine.
Oh yes,
unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Nej, det var ikke det, jeg ville. Hader det at spille. What is happening right now? Sagde han ikke lige, at jeg vandt? Jeg bliver sindssyg. Pikke hår. Jeg er gal. Jeg er sindssyg. Max tog også nyt det. Der er en telefon, der ringer.
Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
Hvorfor er den der tændt? Er det godt? Og ja. Haha. Computer wrecked. Ej, okay. Det her spiller jo sindssygt. Nu går vi til højre, ja.
When Stanley came to a set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Så hører vi det efter.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Men den der, den er fancy. Den tror jeg vil ned af. Hvad er det at spille? Fik de kuldegysninger? Jeg ved ikke om I gør det, men jeg får bare kuldegysninger. Det er sindssygt, det er lortspil.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Left?
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Ja, den der var helt sikkert. Kom bare ind i døren indtil nu.
Let's see, we went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
hernede? Nej, det her sted har vi aldrig været før.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Restart the game. Ej, jeg bliver sindssyg.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Så går vi den rigtige vej. Ligegyldigt. Okay, det gør vi så ikke. Det kan vi bare gå i cirkler. Det gider vi ikke. Gå bare den her vej. Går vi herover. Går vi den her vej. Jeg bliver sindssyg. Go here, I do.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
All
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Listen to.
Okay,
it bliver kun bedre og bedre.
I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
YouTube. Jeg bliver sindssyg. I mit lille hoved. For der er ingen vej. Der er rigtig vej. Åbenbart. Og nu er der også anderledes derinde, det kan jeg huske.
Aha!
Det var ikke mit kontor.
I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Hvad?
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story.
Jeg bliver sindssyg.
Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this...
Stop.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Yes,
congratulations!
Thank you.
I know you put in a lot of hard work.
Thank you.
And it really paid off. So, good job. Oh no.
No,
I don't feel right about this at all.
We
both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Okay, jeg bliver sindssyg.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line.
Og går til en episode mere. Og den bliver bare ikke på tid, så vi siger, jeg siger, vi ses. Og husk at subscribe og alt det der til vores kanal. Like den video og del den gerne. Det vil gøre mig super glad. fordi at jeg synes, det er rigtig fedt at sidde og optage og underholde jer. Så håber jeg også, det er fedt at se på, hvad jeg laver. Og det var alarmen, der sagde, at nu skal vi færdige. Så jeg skal altså... Jeg stopper optagelsen nu, og så kommer vi i gang igen om lidt.